A snow pattern is developing for next week. Multiple timeframes are showing winter weather potential across the eastern United States. And for areas that have been waiting all season, this could be your chance. Let me break down what the models are showing, what's changed overnight, and what you need to watch for over the next 7 to 10 days. Right now, conditions across the country vary dramatically. And that tells us a lot about what's coming. In the Catskills Mountains of New York, yesterday started sunny and in the 50s. By evening, winds picked up, temperatures dropped to the 20s, and snow was flying. That's mountain weather. Unpredictable and wild. If you work in those elevations, you know what I'm talking about. Northern Michigan is waking up to snow this morning. The Upper Peninsula is seeing a few inches already. Detroit suburbs started at 35 degrees with clouds, now transitioning to snow this afternoon. Massachusetts, north central areas are experiencing typical New England weather. If you don't like the conditions, wait a minute. It'll change. That's not just a saying. It's reality in New England. Meanwhile, across the Carolinas and Georgia, it feels like late spring. High temperatures today pushing into the low 80s. January 10th, 80 degrees. Last year on this exact date, Atlanta saw 4 inches of snow. This year, you're looking at temperatures more appropriate for April. That contrast won't last. Western North Carolina has been dry. Much needed rain is moving through today. The Appalachian Highlands south of Murphy are finally getting precipitation. Some areas reporting rain mixed with brief snow squalls yesterday. Wind, drizzle, snow, and sun all in one day. Tennessee, particularly Middle Tennessee and Knoxville, expecting rain today. Tomorrow morning could bring snow flurries. Don't be surprised if you wake up to snow flying around. It won't stick, but it'll be there. Birmingham, Alabama, and surrounding areas hoping for snow this winter. You haven't given up yet. Good. This pattern has potential. Though timing and track will determine who sees what. South Carolina, the upstate specifically, has been dealing with warm temperatures and wondering if winter will ever arrive. The faith is being tested. But weather patterns change, and they're changing now. North Carolina, areas east of the mountains have seen little cold air this season. North Wilkesboro and surrounding regions waiting for accumulating snow. The concern is real. Miss this opportunity, and there might not be another one this winter. Coming, Georgia thought winter was done before it started. La Nina fading into neutral conditions is shifting the pattern. Finally, this is encouraging for those who enjoy winter weather. Virginia Beach and surrounding tidewater areas seeing partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the 40s, spring-like warmth continues. That changes next week. New York City, partly cloudy and 43 degrees this morning. The extended warm pattern is notable for mid-January. Chicago, you're getting rain transitioning to snow today. Not major accumulation, but enough to make roads slick. For those building projects outdoors, the surface rust from temperature fluctuations has been frustrating. At least you're getting a break from heavy snow. North Texas and Oklahoma continue seeing ups and downs in temperature. Dry conditions persist. Since late November, it's been the same pattern. Maybe very late January into February brings change. The waiting game continues. Wisconsin getting a few inches of snow today. Nothing extreme by your standards, but it's winter weather. Lake effect will add to totals in typical snowbelt areas. Maine expecting several inches of snow tonight. Heavy wet snow likely. Northern Vermont and New Hampshire see a few inches as well. The Adirondacks could get half a foot. This is the kind of snow that sticks to everything. Trees, power lines, vehicles, heavy and wet. West Virginia mountains will see accumulating snow today into tonight. Higher elevations could measure in inches. The Pacific Northwest finally quieting down after weeks of storms. Oregon needs sunshine after the recent weather in that football game last night. Tough loss. Weather and sports both disappointing this week. Now, let me explain what's developing for next week, because this gets complex, and understanding the meteorology helps you understand why forecasts keep changing. We're watching 2 separate time frames. The first one arrives Wednesday into Thursday, January 14th and 15th. The second comes Friday through the weekend, January 17th and 18th. The challenge with these setups is that small changes make huge differences. The models have been all over the place, literally windshield wipers. One run shows a major snowstorm for the Carolinas, next run takes it away. Following run brings it back but weaker. This morning's run backed off again. That's not model failure. That's the reality of forecasting complex weather patterns at 5 to 7 days out. Let me show you what we're dealing with. Starting with Wednesday morning, January 14th, energy begins diving south with a trough. When I say energy, I'm talking about precipitation, rain, snow, or something in between falling from the sky. There's moisture in the Great Lakes region, Gulf moisture across the deep south, and dots trying to connect as the trough digs. By Wednesday evening, moisture creeps south. A large area of low pressure develops off the east coast. But here's the critical part. It develops ahead of the cold air. That timing is everything. The European model this morning shows a 991 millibar low developing offshore. Strong system, but it's too far east. It brings rain to New England instead of snow. Meanwhile, energy associated with the trough brings snow across the Appalachian Mountains. Northwest flow pattern. This could be a significant snow event for the southern and central Appalachians. The Smokies, Gatlinburg, even lower elevation areas could see heavy snowfall. Thursday morning, January 15th, the energy tries to phase. That means different pieces of the atmospheric puzzle try to come together. If they phase correctly, you get a major storm. If they don't, systems stay separate and weaker. The latest European model run shows the pieces not connecting properly. The coastal low stays too far offshore. Cold air is in place across the interior, but the moisture doesn't wrap back into it sufficiently. Result? Some snow across interior areas, but not the blockbuster storm some runs have shown. Now here's where it gets interesting. The overnight European run from 12 hours earlier showed slightly different timing. It developed the low pressure a bit closer to the coast, brought more moisture across the southeast along the I-95 corridor. The back-end connection with energy diving from the northwest showed better phasing. That's a 12-hour difference in model runs, showing two different solutions, both plausible, both based on the same atmospheric data. Small differences in initial conditions lead to different outcomes. The GFS model has been even more volatile. 4 consecutive runs showed 4 different solutions. Yesterday around lunch, major snowstorm for the Carolinas. Last night, completely backed off. Overnight, came back, but less aggressive. This morning, backed off again. This isn't a broken model. This is a difficult forecast. The pattern is complex. Multiple pieces have to align perfectly. Right now, they're not aligning consistently across model runs. Let me explain why this is so hard to forecast. You need several ingredients for a major East Coast winter storm. Cold air in place. Check, we'll have that. Upper-level energy diving south. Check, that's happening. Coastal low-pressure development. Maybe. Phasing of northern and southern energy streams. Big maybe. That last part is critical. You have energy diving from the northwest associated with the trough. You have moisture potentially coming from the Gulf. If they phase correctly, meaning they come together at the right time in the right place, you get rapid intensification, a nor'easter, heavy snow. If the northern energy dives too quickly, it races out to sea before the southern moisture arrives. Miss. If the northern energy is too slow, the southern moisture stays too far offshore. Also a miss. The timing has to be exact. Then there's the ridge out west. How is it positioned? If it's taller and stretched toward Alaska, energy can dig more properly southward. But if the ridge is oriented differently, energy has to bend around it awkwardly. That affects everything downstream. The orientation of that western ridge determines how the trough digs over the eastern United States, which determines where low pressure develops, which determines who gets snow and who gets rain or nothing. Right now, the western ridge isn't oriented optimally for a major East Coast storm. It's close, but not quite right. That could change. Or it might not. The second time frame, Friday through the weekend, shows similar challenges. Energy following behind the first system. The overnight European run suggested better winter weather chances further south for this time frame. But the morning run only goes out 144 hours. We can't see the second system yet on the short-range European. The longer-range guidance shows energy moving through Friday into Saturday. Light to moderate snow possible across the central and southern Appalachians. Sunday, January 17th, there's energy present. It's just not reflecting to the surface well on most models, but it's there. One scenario shows low pressure popping off the coast. If the precipitation shield extends further west, that could be snow instead of staying over water. Right now, it's well offshore. A miss for the second time frame on most guidance, but here's what gives me confidence that winter weather is coming. Even if the exact details remain uncertain, the pattern is favorable. We're transitioning out of the warm ridge that's dominated for weeks. A trough is digging. Arctic air is available. Multiple opportunities exist. Will one of these systems become a major snowstorm? Maybe. The ingredients are present, but small-scale changes flip everything around. We need to see model consistency. Right now, we don't have it. For those waiting for snow in the South, in the Carolinas, Georgia, Tennessee, this is encouraging but not guaranteed. The pattern supports winter weather. Whether it delivers depends on timing and phasing we can't determine yet at this range. What can I tell you with confidence? Cold air arrives next week. Temperatures drop significantly across the eastern two-thirds of the country. That warmth you're experiencing today in the Carolinas and Georgia, the 80s in January, that ends. By Wednesday and Thursday, temperatures across the South will be 15 to 25 degrees colder, 30s and 40s during the day, 20s overnight. That's cold enough for snow if moisture arrives. The Northeast and Mid-Atlantic see temperatures in the 20s and 30s midweek. Cold enough to support all snow. Multiple waves of energy move through. Even if we don't get one big storm, we'll see winter weather events. Maybe not blockbusters, but legitimate snow opportunities. For the Appalachian Mountains, from West Virginia through Tennessee, North Carolina, northern Georgia, you're in the favored zone. Northwest flow snow is likely Wednesday into Thursday, regardless of coastal development. Elevations above 3,000 feet could see significant accumulation, 6 to 12 inches possible in the Smokies and surrounding ranges. Lower elevations are trickier. Gatlinburg might see heavy snow, or it might see rain changing to snow. Elevation matters. A few hundred feet makes the difference between 6 inches and a dusting. For the Piedmont areas, the Carolinas, northern Georgia, you're on the edge. Coastal storm development determines your fate. If one develops and tracks correctly, you could see several inches. If it stays offshore or doesn't develop, you get cold rain or nothing. I know that's frustrating. You want a definitive answer. Will it snow or won't it? At 6 days out with models flip-flopping, I can't give you that answer honestly. Anyone who does is guessing. What I can say is watch the trends. If models start converging on one solution over the next 2 to 3 days, confidence increases. If they keep bouncing around, uncertainty remains until 48 hours out. For planning purposes, understand that winter weather is possible Wednesday through the weekend. Not certain, but possible. If you have travel plans, monitor forecasts closely. If you've been waiting for snow, this pattern has potential. But temper expectations until we see consistency. Today's weather deserves attention. Severe thunderstorms are possible across the deep south. A slight risk exists from Montgomery south of Birmingham into parts of Georgia and South Carolina. The marginal risk extends into the upstate of South Carolina and southern North Carolina Piedmont. We have a 5% tornado risk within 25 miles of any given location in the brown-shaded area. That's southern Alabama, southern Georgia. Tornadoes are possible this afternoon and evening. Not an outbreak, but the ingredients are there. Much-needed rain moves across the southeast. Atlanta is getting rain now. The western Carolinas finally see precipitation after dry conditions. Even though we're transitioning from La Nina toward El Nino, the process won't really take effect until spring. So it's been dry. This rain helps. Be aware of thunderstorms today if you're across Alabama, Georgia, or the Carolinas. Severe weather is possible. damaging winds, hail, isolated tornadoes. Don't ignore warnings. Behind this system, colder air arrives. Tomorrow morning, you might wake up to snow flurries as far south as Middle Tennessee. They won't accumulate, but you'll see snow flying around. Wisconsin gets a few inches today. Nothing extreme. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan sees several inches. Marquette could measure 6 to 8 inches of wet, heavy snow. Maine gets hit tonight with heavy, wet snow. Several inches likely. This is the kind that sticks to everything and weighs down trees and power lines. Be prepared for possible outages. Northern New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, the Adirondacks, you're looking at a few inches of wet snow, enough to shovel, enough to make travel difficult tonight. For next week, here's what you should do. Monitor forecasts daily. This pattern is evolving. What looks unlikely today could become likely tomorrow, or vice versa. If you're in the mountains, prepare for winter weather Wednesday into Thursday. Stock up on supplies. Make sure you have heat if power goes out. Have food and water for a few days. Mountain communities can become isolated quickly in heavy snow. If you're in the Carolinas or Georgia waiting for snow, stay patient but realistic. This pattern has potential. But we've seen potential before that didn't materialize. Don't make firm plans assuming snow until forecasts firm up. For those in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, you're used to this. You know, winter storms at 6 days out are uncertain. Watch the trends. If models converge, prepare accordingly. Travel considerations for next week. Wednesday through Friday, winter weather is possible from the Appalachians to the coast. If you have critical travel, consider adjusting schedules or having backup plans. Airlines may issue waivers if a major storm appears likely. One thing I want to address. Some of you are getting discouraged. You've been hearing about winter weather chances for weeks. Models show something exciting, then take it away. It's exhausting. I get it. Remember, we rarely get perfect model trends that consistently show major snowstorms from a week out until the snow starts falling. It almost never works that way. Models fluctuate. Forecasts evolve. That's normal. The fact that models are showing potential, even if inconsistently, tells us the pattern supports winter weather. We just need the pieces to align. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. For those in the South who rarely see snow, I understand the frustration. You watch people up north get storm after storm while you get rain or near misses. It's not fair. But that's geography and climatology. This pattern gives you a chance. Not a guarantee. A chance. That's more than you've had most of this winter. Take it for what it is and see what develops. Many of you remember major snowstorms from the past. 88 brought a foot to parts of South Carolina. 93 buried the East Coast. You've seen big snows before. They can happen, but they're not common, especially in the South. This isn't the old days when blockbuster snowstorms happened more frequently. Climate patterns have shifted. Snow events in the South are rarer. That makes each opportunity more precious and each miss more disappointing. But don't give up hope. Winter isn't over. We're only in mid-January. La Niña is fading. The pattern is changing. More opportunities will come. For now, focus on what we know. Cold air arrives next week. Multiple energy waves move through. Winter weather is likely somewhere in the eastern United States. The exact locations and amounts remain uncertain. I'll have updates tonight and daily through next week. As models converge or continue diverging, we'll adjust the forecast accordingly. Subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss updates. This is going to be an interesting week of weather. Not just for potential snow, but for watching atmospheric dynamics play out in real time. For weather enthusiasts, this is what we live for. Complex setups, uncertain outcomes. Nature doing its thing. For those who just want to know if it'll snow, I wish I had a better answer today. Check back tonight and tomorrow and the next day. We'll figure this out together as it develops. Stay safe with today's severe weather if you're in the risk areas. Prepare for cold next week and keep your expectations realistic but hopeful for winter weather. I'll see you in the next update.